Let's do a she. She blesses me. She blesses me. God, she is so good. She's so good to me. Good morning and welcome to Unity of Tallahassee. We're going to now say our opening statement together. If you don't remember it or don't know it, it's in your bulletin. Together, here we go. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good omnipotence. And now we get to hear the daily word read by Marla.
Good morning. Daily word for Sunday, May 24th is comforted. Secure in the love of the divine, I am comforted. Taking time to remember my loved ones who have passed and envisioning them alive in God brings me comfort and softens the edges of my sadness. When those who care about me reach out to offer me solace, I accept it as the love of God flowing through them. When I remember the good times spent with my loved ones, my heart feels lighter as a smile crosses my lips. These tender moments remind me that God is always with me, even in times of grief. I need not shrink from the pain of loss or busy myself to avoid feeling it. Instead, I lean in to the comforting love of God to see me through it. This love lifts me and soothes my aching heart. The power of God within gives me strength to persevere with courage and fortitude. From Isaiah 66:13, as a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. You shall be comforted in Jerusalem. Our affirmation today, I'll read once and then you repeat it with me. Secure in the love of the divine, I am comforted. Secure in the love of the divine, I am comforted.
All right. If you will join me for the first hymn of the day. If you feel like standing, you're welcome to. If you would like to do motions, please do. We're going to be singing He's Got the Whole World in His Hands, 3:14. So get it on if you feel like it.
other. Get your hugs on. Spelling extra energy. Oh, it's good. All right, get those last hugs in so we can bless the children. All right. Rub your hands together and then point them at the kids with the good mojo.
You are loved, special, and important to us. Walk them in the light.
We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God.
All right, I have a lot of announcements for you, so take a deep breath, guys. Great. All right, first of all, if there's anyone visiting for the first time, we'd like to give you a visitor packet. Anybody at all? Okay, great. And now we're going to do something that we don't do very often. Someone out there has asked to become a member of Unity of Tallahassee. Amanda, come on up here. So on behalf of the board, I'm going to give her a certificate of membership, and her whole name is Amanda Crosley. So congratulations, here you go. All right, so since Catherine is with her mom, helping her to get on the healing path, we will not be having choir until further notice, but lots of people have stepped up to help with all of those music kinds of things for each Sunday, so we're very blessed to have so many people to help do that. Reverend Marge will be here really soon in Tallahassee, and so we have on the back table clipboards for you to sign up to have a meet and greet with her. Very many options back there. And it will be like an ice cream social, and it'll be small groups to get to know each other better. And if there's not dates on there that work for you, she's going to get some more dates after she accomplishes those. Today at Unity Eastside, John Springer's doing a workshop at 1 o'clock if you want to zip on over there after our service is over. He's been here before a few times, we've heard him. And there is a concert at Eastside on June 6th at 7 o'clock. And there are flyers in the back on that table if you would like one. The Sound Odyssey is having an amazing experience on Friday, June 5th at 7 right here in our sanctuary. The Hatha Yoga class, facilitated by Deborah Ray, is on Thursdays from 2:30 to 3:30, and it's in that building over there. Everyone's welcome to join that. In the flash, in the bulletin, there are lots of announcements. If you would like to sign up for the flash, the clipboard has moved into the cafe, so you have to go in there to find it. And if you want a name tag, there's a clipboard in there for that too. On the back table, there's prayer request forms and the daily words. Lots of Unity material if you'd like to look through and take whatever you need please do so. The lending library is through that door. Check out all the books that are on that shelf. Take whatever you would like and read at your leisure. There's a couple more weeks left for our food drive for the elder care services. The box is over by the cafe door on the floor. And if you don't like to shop, I'll gladly shop for you and put some things in that box for you. Please stay and enjoy refreshments in the cafe. There are lots of them. Does anyone else have any other announcement? Okie dokie, I do believe we're going to sing another song.
All right. Please join me in singing 212 Weave. You can stand if you like, or if you want to settle in before the message, choose your own adventure.
Thank you, Amanda. That's beautiful. Well, as usual, I'm going to rearrange furniture. Hopefully, we're all rearranging our consciousness a little bit, right? Good morning, everyone. It is such a joy for me to be here again. I appreciate being asked to come back. It's always a blessing to gather in this beautiful sacred space with all of you and your sacredness that you are, and in our awakening and our remembrance. As I shared with you a couple of weeks ago, I'm actually here on a healing journey, and some of you saw my face a little closer. You'll see that I'm in the process of healing. I believe that we're all actually on a healing journey, and we're on a healing journey in some way, and as I said, not necessarily to create something new, but to begin to remember and realign with who and what we truly are. And today I want to invite us to go in a deeper conversation about spiritual evolution. And not perfection, not getting it right, but awakening. We're growing and we are expanding, and we're becoming more conscious of who we are and what we truly are. And you know, one of my favorite teachers in this respect is Michael Bernard Beckwith. Some of you are familiar with him. And he's written a wonderful book called Spiritual Evolution, and it's been very helpful. One of the teachings that has really had a deep impact on me is this understanding that we all go through stages in our spiritual evolution, in our spiritual growth. And I think we do that both as individuals and as a collective in a real sense. So we're here to really begin to awaken even more of that essence of who and what we are. Now, I love this teaching because it's not really a judgmental place. It's not about judging the different stages that we are in. It's about not saying that one stage is actually good and one stage is bad. It's really more like a roadmap and a way of noticing where we are in our awareness and in our path. Because all of us, every single one of us, moves through different stages in different areas of life at different times and often in different ways. And you may be deeply spiritual, grounded in one area of your life and still struggling in another. Anybody know what I'm talking about? You may find that you have peace around your finances, but maybe struggle in relationships. You may be really spiritually centered when you come here to church, but out of center when you're driving down Tennessee Street, which I did find myself this week. And I mentioned that it's really about always returning to center. It doesn't mean that we're failing spiritually when we're not centered. It simply means that we are human and that we are evolving and that we are growing. And so today I want to explore these stages as a way of kind of compassionately and honestly and humorously, hopefully, having an openness to where we are in our spiritual growth, in our spiritual evolution. I was reminded of a story this week when I was thinking about my lesson. It was a man who walked into a really beautiful 5-star hotel restaurant, and the waiter comes over and gets ready to take his order, and the man looked up at him and says, "You know, I want burnt toast, and I want cold and bitter coffee, and I want my eggs raw." And the waiter looked at him and said, "Sir, I'm sorry, there's no way that in this place that we could serve that to you." And he said, "Well, that's what I want." And he said, "Sir, I'm sorry, but," he says, "I'm willing to pay for it. I'll pay whatever." He says, "Sir, there's no amount of money that we would serve that to you. Just no way." He says, "I don't understand why not. That's exactly what I had here yesterday." Now, that may be funny, but spiritually it raises an important question. What kind of order are we placing with the universe? Are we consciously recreating yesterday's experiences? Are we rehearsing old hurts, old fears, old beliefs, and yes, even old identities? Because consciousness is creative and it's always ongoing. In Psalms chapter 23, it says, verse 7, it says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Now, we're going to update that. As a person thinketh in their heart, so are they. That makes sense? And Charles Fillmore always taught, thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. And so the question becomes, what kinds of thoughts are we holding in consciousness? Now, I believe it's not always necessarily in conscious thought. Sometimes, in fact, most of the time, we are creating from places that we are not even conscious of and aware of. And part of our unfolding is to allow those things to be transformed in a powerful and confident and conscious way. So what energy are we broadcasting out into the universe? What story are we telling the universe about ourselves? Just ask yourself that question. What story am I telling the universe about myself? Well, Michael starts off with stage one, and it's one that I think that we probably all are familiar with to some extent, and he calls that victim consciousness. Now, let's be honest. Every one of us has been in victim consciousness at some point and some time, and some of us actually brought our baggage and would decide to stay for a while. I know there have been times when I've hung out in that a lot longer than I needed to, and it was valuable for me, except there were things for me even in that consciousness. See, victim consciousness says that there's something outside of me that has power over my peace and my well-being. I can only be whole if circumstances improve. I can only be happy if they change. I can only have peace if life goes the way I think it's supposed to. This is victim consciousness. And the problem with that, of course, is the moment that we hand outer conditions the power to determine our own inner peace and well-being, we've given away our own spiritual authority, and we have misidentified ourselves. Now, let me be clear. That doesn't mean that difficult things don't happen. They do. And people can, I don't know if you noticed it, but people can absolutely behave badly. I've done that myself once or twice. Try to avoid that, but yeah, we've all behaved badly at some point. So it's not that these things are not going to happen, that we're not going to experience loss, and for us, loss is real. It's not that we're going to experience pain, because for us, pain is real in that moment. But suffering increases when we believe that it's the outer circumstances that define our well-being and our peace and our identity. That's why Louis Hay said, the only reason that we ever get angry is because someone isn't behaving the way that we think they should. Ouch. We've all done that at some point, haven't we? Yeah. So, one thing, that can sting, but one thing about victim consciousness is it always sounds like blame. In fact, I would say that pretty much that defines victim consciousness, doesn't it? We're always finding or looking for who's at fault. Well, you can look in the newspaper and find that all the time, can't you? We're always, it seems like as a society, we're always looking for who's to blame. It's the government. It's their fault. It's my ex. It is my boss. It is my childhood. And while there may be some truth to parts of this experience, spiritual growth begins when we ask the question, what is mine that is contributing to this? What is mine to learn from this? Not who am I to blame, but what is seeking to awaken in this experience in me? Consciousness sometimes to me is like Velcro. I had the opportunity to use a little Velcro this week, and I Velcroed a cushion into the seat of my car that I mentioned to you guys that I recently bought. And it works pretty well. And I discovered a little bit about Velcro, and that it's oftentimes described as actually hook and loop. And oftentimes it hooks into things that we don't want it to hook into. Have you noticed that? Sometimes our consciousness tends to do that as well. And it hooks into things and it just stays stuck there. And we get stuck in patterns. We may spiritually attract lessons, patterns, opportunities, and awakenings that help us to grow in some way. Sometimes life keeps handing us the same lessons wearing different clothes. Ever notice that? Different relationships, same patterns. Different job, same frustrations. Different city, same emotional experiences. And this reminded me of a story that I always liked. And there was a man who stopped at a gas station as he was moving into a new town. And he and his family were there, and he paid for his gas. And he asked the man at the counter, he says, "Sir, we're just moving here. Tell us about this new town." And the man said, "Well, tell me about the town that you just came from." "Oh, it was wonderful, man. We really loved it. The people were so nice and so caring and so generous. And we really didn't want to leave, but we just saw an opportunity here, and we wanted to come to this place." And the man said, "You're going to find the same thing here." And then they went on, and another man came in, filled up gas, was paying the guy, and said, "I'm just moving here, and I'm wondering about this town." He says, "What is this town like?" And the man said, "Well, tell me about the town that you just came from." He says, "Oh, man, it was awful. Those people were horrible. I mean, people were mean and just ornery and not honest, and we couldn't wait to get out of there." And the guy at the counter said, "Yeah, you're going to find the same thing here. You probably won't stay long here either." But Spirit eventually says to us, even in those lessons that we try to repeat and sometimes try to escape even, "My child, this lesson will continue until love and awareness replace unconsciousness." And that moves us actually into stage 2. Michael Beckwith called this manifestation consciousness. And it's where we begin to wake up to the understanding that our thoughts really do matter, and that our beliefs matter, and that our attitude matters, and that our energy matters. We begin to understand that consciousness participates in creation, and that we are participants in creating our experiences. Now, this can feel very empowering, but there is actually a trap that we sometimes get into as we grow spiritually, and we begin to recognize that and begin to acknowledge that. Sometimes we fall into the spiritual trap and we begin to accept that we are participating. Instead of simply accepting that we're participating, we can actually then fall into self-blame. And so we're not blaming them, we start blaming ourselves. We start saying, "Oh, I shouldn't have. If only." You know those? Anybody sound familiar? Yeah, we don't. Yeah, it's part of that. It's still a part of victim consciousness. But instead of making others a victim, we start making ourselves a victim of ourselves. We start making ourselves victims of our own critical voice, of our own inner judge. Anybody know what I'm talking about? We've got one of those. It kind of hangs on. The little image used to be the one image over here is the negative voices, and the other here is the positive voices, the devil and the angel. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, well, we've got those that go on, but we have to be conscious and aware that sometimes we are just shifting blame from out there to that critical judge. And part of our unfolding is that we begin waking up to ourselves in a new way. However, as we grow through this, we affirm, and our affirmations actually begin to become more meaningful, and our prayer becomes more intentional, and we begin to visualize and see ourselves with compassion and with honesty and with love. We begin realizing, I am doing the best that I can. Breathe that in for a second. I am doing the best that I know how and that I can. I'm not powerless. I can accept myself and love myself even though I have miscreated in some way. I'm a part of creating something different. So even though we have miscreated, we can make different choices. It's moving from victim consciousness, from life is happening to me, into an understanding that life is actually happening through me and participating with that. Now, in Unity, we understand that prayer is not changing God or begging God. It is really about realigning with our own unique possibilities. We all have these amazing possibilities. when we align ourselves with the truth of who and what we are. Not trying to convince God or beseech, we're just awakening to the blessings that are already there in us and for us. Eric Butterworth often taught, don't ask God to guide your footsteps if you're not willing to move your feet. I love his practicality. Manifesting consciousness invites us to participate in creative partnership and responsibility, not blame, but the ability to respond and make a different choice. It's acknowledging that we have participated in creating, promoting, or allowing this, whatever this is, and acknowledging that I can participate in creating, promoting, and allowing something else, something instead of this. But even there, Michael says there's another stage beyond trying to get things from the universe or to get things to be different in some way, and that is what he calls surrender consciousness. And there's a real beauty and power in surrender consciousness. Now, surrender doesn't mean giving up, unless you're talking about giving up, if you know what I mean, metaphorically. Giving to something higher, turning it over to something greater. This is where we begin to trust that there is a deeper intelligence at work, even in the circumstances that we have a tendency to resist. It's a deeper wisdom, a deeper divine flow. And this is where we stop trying to force life to be the way we think it's supposed to be, and we begin to allow life to unfold. The word allowing is really important in this consciousness, you know. Abraham Hicks speaks often about allowing. And spiritually, allowing means to trust that there's something greater seeking expression through me. So we're not trying to do it from a place of trying to make something happen, but simply allowing something to unfold from within us. It's not about control or manipulation. It's not spiritual bargaining, though we all played that game, right? You know, God, if you do this, I'll do that. It's about openness, willingness, and flow. It's about alignment. It reminds me of trying, I used to, when I was younger, I used to go whitewater rafting, and not rafting so much as canoeing and kayaking, and I really loved it. It's a great exercise, great sport, and I love being out in nature and just the water around me. But oftentimes I found myself in situations where I actually had to paddle upstream to get to a different point. And man, that is work. Have you ever noticed how when we resist the flow of life, we have to work 10 times as hard? But what if we just began to tip the point of our kayak in consciousness and began to flow, not just let go, but to paddle in the same direction as the flow of the stream or river? And man, things really move along pretty quickly when we do that, and smoothly, and it just makes a whole difference in our experience in life. So part of our learning is, Jesus actually modeled this and spoke about this in such a beautiful way when he said, resist not evil, but do good. It's the same principle. Stop resisting the flow of life, but just do what you know to be good and right and flow in the direction that life is guiding you to go. And of course, that doesn't mean that we're not going to be challenging. It's awful hard not to resist. It's challenging sometimes for us to surrender when we see experiences of pain, injustice, or if we see no sign of change in our lives or in the world when we're doing what we know how to do. There's a story about bamboo in China. Then one of the things they talk about is it's understanding that you plant it and nothing appears above ground for many years, actually, so I'm told. You water it, you nurture it, you care for it, and still nothing visible happens. But underground, an enormous root system is developing. And then suddenly, in a very short time, it shoots upward dramatically. Sometimes spiritual growth is like that. You think nothing is happening. You can't see anything changing. But beneath the surface, if we keep doing the work, if we keep nurturing it and watering the good, returning to center, then spirit is building roots in our consciousness. And healing wounds is happening, and expanding awareness is happening, and preparing us for an even greater expression is happening. So we don't judge our life by the world of appearances. That's what one of the most powerful teachings, I believe, is do not judge by appearances. Judge whatever is at work in you, through you, and open to a greater good that is working in life. And this moves us actually now into the fourth stage of consciousness that Michael shares with us. He calls it unity consciousness. Now, he's not talking about the Unity Church, but maybe. He's talking about a state of consciousness that we actually all are having. And this awareness is best demonstrated when Jesus said, I and the Father are one. Now, the word translated as Father can also be translated as sire. And that word sire comes from the same root word as the word source. And so when I hear this and I listen to this, I hear Jesus saying, I and the source are one. Now just breathe that in for a minute and say that to yourself. I and the source are one. I and the divine are one. And when we affirm this from our heart space, the I am consciousness in our heart, I am the divine, and I and the divine are one. I and my source are one. Hafiz put it this way, not I and God, but only God. Just meditate for that just a second. Not I and God, but only God. There's only God here. There's only God in me. There's only God in my life. Everywhere, in everything. We say that every week, but how often do we really take that in? It's not separation, it's not fear, it's not striving. It is divine identification. It is recognizing that the very essence of our being is divine. And this is where life no longer happens to us or actually even through us. It happens as us. Now, most of us experience this in glimpses. I have a glimpse, in moments that are just sometimes those aha moments, you might call them. Or that moment that just kind of takes your breath away at times. A sunset that stops you in your tracks. Or a moment in your meditation where you really sense and feel that connection and that oneness. Or a feeling of unconditional love and a very deep connection with life or another. It happens in sacred stillness where all separation just simply dissolves. And mystics across ages and traditions have spoken of this. Meister Eckhart said that the eye through which I see God is the same eye through which God sees me. That is unity consciousness. And the beautiful thing about it, it is already within every one of us. We are not trying to become divine. We are awakening to what we already always are. And that's when we are in that unity consciousness. So perhaps the invitation today is not which stage of consciousness, conscious evolution or spiritual evolution am I in. It's what is life teaching me in whatever state I'm in. What is it showing me, and what is mine to participate in? Because our spiritual evolution is not a straight line. Have you noticed that? It's really much more of a spiral. And we keep coming back to those same different states of consciousness, but at different awarenesses and different levels. And sometimes we come back around to victim consciousness and there's something there for us. And we don't know what it is perhaps, but it really is about helping us to shift into another level of understanding of that. Where am I being invited into a greater awareness, greater responsibility, greater surrender, greater love? Because spiritual evolution is not about becoming better than others, but about becoming more authentic and true to what we are created to be. More awake and more aligned with the truth of who we are. And the truth is this, friends. You're not broken. You're not separate. And you're not ever abandoned by the divine. You are evolving, and you are evolving an expression of that divine life and power and intelligence and love. You are evolving, and you are spirit, and you still are unfolding spirit through you. Through every challenge, through every breakthrough, through every lesson, and through every blessing. All of it is part of the sacred unfolding. And so, today, when we move from blame into awareness, and from fear into trust, and from striving into surrender, and from separation into unity. And may we remember always, the Spirit of God within does the work. Let's move into our meditation time. Just breathe into the heart space. Just allow yourself to feel that breath moving into the heart. And then take another slow, nice, deep breath into the heart. Allowing the body to soften and just notice any sensations and just be aware of them. Allowing the mind to become still and just notice any thoughts. And simply become present, here and now. And just breathe in peace. And breathe out any tension. Breathe in light. And breathe out struggle. And now gently bring into your awareness any situation in your life where you may have felt stuck or powerless or burdened in some way. And without judgment, just notice those. Without resistance, just notice them. And now quietly, just gently and lovingly affirm for yourself, I am willing to love that part of me that has felt powerless. I'm willing to love even that part of me that feels burdened. And I'm willing to see and experience this differently. I am willing to awaken. And just feel those words gently in your heart. Just breathe that into the heart space. And just imagine now beautiful stream of divine light flowing through you, healing, transforming, cleansing, restoring. And just feel Spirit moving through every cell of your being. You don't have to force it. You don't have to carry anything alone, because you have that presence in you, of you, as you. And you are supported. You are now supported. Feel that feeling of support. Be willing to trust in that support. Something loving is supporting you. Something greater is supporting you. Something more is expressing through you, as you. And just affirm silently to yourself, I trust the divine flow of life in me. I am willing to allow Spirit to guide me. I'm not separate from the divine. I am one with the love God is in me, as me. I am one with the power God is in me, as me. I am one with the wisdom God is in me, as me. I am one. And just quietly now in your stillness, just sit with this for a moment and breathe it into the heart. And now gently bring your awareness back into this sacred space, to this room, this time, this place. And breathe again, knowing that all is truly well. Take one more nice deep breath, and when you're ready, gently open your eyes. And so it is.
It's the time of our service where we do the offering, so if you can get your offering and put it in your hand. And together we will say the offering statement that is in your bulletin. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all I am, all I have, all I give, and all I receive.
Please join me in the offertory hymn 322, I am free, I am unlimited. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited right now. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited right now, right now. Keep going. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited right now. Free, I am unlimited, there are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited right now. No, sorry guys.
Thank you to all the givers and the gifts that we have received today to send out and bless the rest of us throughout humanity. Amen. Let's circle up for our prayer for protection and peace song.
Put your arms down. I want you to go out into your life this week, and no matter what stage you may feel you're at any given moment, know that you are in the presence and of the presence and as the presence. And that's our work. Blessings to you all.
Excellent.
Thank you.